Part 2. Verdant Wind. Guardian Moon. The Alliance Leader's Ambitions. Claiming the monastery at Garreg Mach as its home base, the Alliance army joins forces with the Knights of Seiros. Together, they begin to take up arms against the Adrestian Empire.
Good work, Hilda. You didn't do much manual labor, but you managed to rope the knights into helping us restore the monastery.
Thanks, Claude, but all I did was piggyback on your scheme. I saw your eyes telling me to make some magic happen.
Thank you so much for your help with the restoration.
Oh, please, it was nothing. We're just doing our part as former students.
I'm told you even routed the bandits. That job should have fallen to us. I'm sorry for the trouble.
Hey, don't think twice about it. We're all allies in the resistance against the Empire, right?
The Church is at war with the Empire, but let's be realistic. Wouldn't it be better for the Alliance to eventually submit?
The way I see it, the Emperor wants to take over all of Fodlan and destroy the existing order of the world. I can't see her allowing the Alliance to continue to exist. We're in this just as deeply as you are. Actually, we were hoping to use this place as a base. The Empire begs to be meddled with, and we're first in line.
What? Why would you want to make your base here of all places?
Garreg Mach is situated in the center of Fodlan, both geographically and spiritually. We want to secure this location while the Empire is still overlooking it.
I see. The Empire doesn't see this place as important at the moment because it's far from the front lines.
But if we simply decide that it's ours to occupy, that does nothing to inspire the hearts and minds of the people of Fodlan. Luckily, good old Teach has finally returned to us. If the Professor Rhea entrusted with the Sword of the Creator fights at our side, well now, that's a just cause anyone could get behind. What's more, here we are, working alongside the legendary Knights of Seiros. It smacks of divine providence, doesn't it? Can you feel it?
I have heard what you have to say, Claude. And you, Professor? Where do you stand? On our own, we lack sufficient military strength. But with the help of the Alliance, the Archbishop said if anything should happen to her, that we should entrust the affairs of the Church to you. If you intend to fight alongside the Alliance, then I will follow you as well. Is that acceptable, Claude?
Of course. I can't think of anything more reassuring than having both Teach and the Knights on our side. Together, we'll stop the Emperor and her reckless ambitions. Oh, hey there. What are you doing up at this hour? My brain's just busy. Thoughts keep going around and around in there, and meanwhile my eyes are wide open. At times like this, I like to gaze up at the stars to clear my head. I've been that way since I was a kid. Looking up at the big starry sky makes my dreams feel small, which makes it feel like I can actually make them come true. I didn't believe in gods when I was a kid. Maybe that's because the night sky took their place for me. Hey, Teach, will you talk with me a while? I bet you figured this out, but I wasn't born in Fodlan. Where I come from, the people of Fodlan are looked down on as cowards. Technically, that cowardice runs in my veins. On my mother's side, anyway. That's why the people who were around me when I was growing up thought of me as an outsider. But I don't believe the people of Fodlan are cowards. That kind of perspective is just based on ignorance. The person from Fodlan who I know best is my mother. She fell in love with a man from the wrong side of the border and had the guts to leave home to pursue that love. I always threw that in the faces of anyone who tried to make a fool of me. My mother is proof the people of Fodlan aren't all cowards. Just saying that doesn't achieve anything, though. I need to destroy the prejudices that have taken root in my homeland. That's why I came here, to see Fodlan with my own eyes. I thought I might be able to find a new perspective that could help me change things. And what did I find? That the people here view anyone who's an outsider as a beast of sorts. I was shocked. Even though our cultures and beliefs are completely different, our two lands have that much in common. That's when I realized the only way to change things is to bring the whole world together and start anew. That's the dream I've been working towards since I first entered the Officers Academy 5 years ago. To unify the Alliance, and then all of Fodlan, and to bring a new set of values to this new land of mine. After that, I'd expand that vision to the rest of the world, break down the walls, and let a new perspective come rushing in. Start all over. Do you think that's just a crazy pipe dream, or a brilliant ambition? Not too long ago, I would have said it was too much for me to accomplish on my own. But that's not how I feel anymore. And that's because I have you on my side now. Lately, I've spent a lot of time thinking about how I wouldn't have made it this far without you. You and me, Teach. We can go anywhere. Do anything. I hope that you always walk in step with me. At least, until the day comes when we can look out at the peaceful world we've built. Together.
Hello, Professor. What brings you here? Fancy a bit of fishing? Are you looking for help with something? Ah, no. Your eyes tell a different story. You know, I can hardly go fishing without thinking of old Gerald. He and I would just sit here, casting our lines again and again. I'm no better at it now than I was then. Not a single nibble. Just like your father. You know all the tricks of the fisherman's trade. I was hopeless at it, but he was a master. In the time it took me to catch one fish, he could fill his basket to the brim. You know, talking to you, I'm feeling very nostalgic. Why don't you join me? We can trade some stories about the old man. We spoke before about how Gerald never seemed to age, right? Once, when he was drunk, he let the secret slip. He said he'd had an infusion of crest-bearing blood, and it had greatly extended his life. Well, we'd both been drinking. I figured he was joking, so I just laughed it off. Then I asked him his age. He said he'd stopped counting after he hit 100. And he was telling the truth. In those 20 years he was away, he didn't age a bit. An incredible person, to be sure. And I probably don't know the half of it. Actually, I'd like to ask you something about Gerald, if you don't mind. When Gerald was away from the monastery, what was he like? In other words, he was exactly the same. When he was with the Knights, he always found time to go fishing. He was hooked on it, you might say. He'd say there was no greater pleasure in life than sinking his teeth into a fish he'd caught and washing it down with a drink. I have to say, right now, fishing with you, it really takes me back. This feels just like the good old days, when Gerald was sitting alongside me.
Thank you.
headstrong, but Claude could give me a run for my money. I mean, he's dragged the Knights into this. You ought to be careful, Professor. Don't worry about me. I'm here because I want to be. Also, because being around my big brother feels like a real chore. Excuse me, could you do me a favor? Excuse me, could you do me a favor? You're Thanks so much. You're a sweetheart. You're I'm pretty headstrong. Boo!
Do you have time for a request?
Maybe. I'm pretty You're sweet. Thanks so much. You're a sweetheart.
You've done me a great service.
Professor!
Professor? Greetings, Professor. You know, I almost died as well in the battle, even if the Death Knight...
There's unrest everywhere these days. I hope things go back to normal soon. Hey, how about a favor?
Got a favor to ask.
Professor?
How incredible. What a striking color. Ah, Professor, look at this stone. Such a brilliant blue. You don't normally find stones like this around here. I ought to grind it down. I wonder if it would still be the same color. To make pigment for my art. Good supplies don't come cheap. I prefer to make my own. Blue is especially expensive. How fortunate that I chanced upon this remarkable blueness. Oh, I'm sorry. There I go again, blathering on and on about painting. Oh, yes. But I know that I can get rather caught up in it and, enthusiastic. You know, Professor, No matter how impassioned I become about my art, you never hold it against me. One could argue that I'm better off preparing for our next battle. I am becoming a knight. Oh, Professor, please don't say things like that. I gave up on my artistic dreams long ago. To support my family, I will be a knight. That's that. No. I know it's the right thing to do. I'll continue with my art as a hobby. I don't think I could ever give it up. When I see something beautiful, I can't suppress the urge to paint it. I don't have a choice. And if my art can bring happiness to even one person, that's good enough for me. Professor, I have a favor to ask. I'm painting a portrait right now. When it's finished, I'd like to give the piece to you. Would you take it? Perhaps it can bring you a little happiness. That will have made the effort well worth it. Oh, excellent! Is that a promise? Because I'm really going to put my heart in it. That is, I'm going to enjoy partaking in this casual hobby of mine.
Hey, I could use a hand.
I need a favor. Dear Goddess, I ask for guidance. Professor, you're always watching over me, aren't you? I've spent my entire life avoiding people. Speaking to others was so difficult for me, so I made a point to always be alone. Animals and the goddess were the only ones I could really open up to. Do you remember the time you asked what it was I prayed for? Yes, but that wasn't the case. Back then, I felt that my life served no purpose and that I was nothing more than a burden. In truth, I was begging the goddess to take me to her. That was my daily prayer. But now I fear the idea of dying and being left alone. I have friends who accept me for who I am now, in spite of my crest. And I have you watching over me. I finally learned to accept the kindness and warmth of others. It's because of you, Professor. Because of you, I've decided to live. I'm sorry to have worried you, but I'm all right now. Even if I'm separated from you or any of my friends, the memories I've made here will give me the strength to continue on. Oh, I'm sure I'll have the strength to move forward if we're together.
Professor. Hey, Professor. I think you've been working too much lately. The battle's gonna keep going with or without you, but you're the one doing the most out there. It's real impressive how you can focus on giving orders and fighting. I don't think I could do both in the same battle. I see you running all over the place, even after the battle's over. I just don't want you to wear yourself out. You gotta take a break when you can. Even when you're feeling fine, it could suddenly hit you. No offense, Professor, but don't you think some folks might be taking advantage of you? Claude keeps asking you to do things, but you never say no. Like when you gave that speech to the troops. That didn't seem like something you wanted to do. I know you gotta follow orders on the battlefield, but you shouldn't have to do things off the battlefield if you don't wanna. What do you mean? Like studying? Sure, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but that was to keep my little sis fed. I had good reason for it. The same, huh? I think I get what you mean. You do things you don't want to do for the sake of everyone else. That's real noble of you, Professor. I guess I can't get in your way if you're doing it for the right reasons. Okay then. I'm gonna keep trying to do my best. But now, I'm gonna do it for you. My little sis is important to me. But you're real important too. I always work hard for the people who matter to me. And having more of them in my life just means I gotta work even harder. What do you think? Really? I wasn't expecting you to say that. You're gonna make me blush. We gotta keep working hard together then. At least until this war's over. I'll work to make sure you don't collapse from exhaustion. You got nothing to worry about, Professor. I've been training non-stop. I got your back, no matter what.
Sounds fun! A little more.
I did not expect much from the dining hall.
Eating delicious.
Professor. Well met, Professor. I trust that you have not had any complaints about me lately. Do you find it concerning that I've ceased making advances toward the ladies? I've decided that it would be inappropriate for me to continue my search for a spouse while we are at war. I expect that means you will not be receiving any more complaints. I hope that puts you more at ease. Actually, the introspection I've gained setting aside my search has motivated me to amend my conduct. Not the phrasing I'd choose, but you're not wrong. Selfishly pursuing my own desires caused me to behave inconsiderately. For instance, it was arrogant and rude to invite ladies to dine with me purely to evaluate them. Our experiences in battle have also given me cause to doubt certain preconceptions I once held. Previously, I had considered it a requirement for my future spouse to come from a noble line. I once thought that commoners lacked the power to influence the wider world, as history might suggest. To find a commoner who made a real impact, one has to look all the way back to Nemesis. That was my belief, at any rate. But I realized that I've actually had an influential commoner right in front of me all along. Don't you see? I'm referring to you. You may wield the power of a crest, but you are so much more than just that. You have managed to charm everyone around you, to compel them to trust and follow you. Though you may not realize it, that is no mean feat. It is altering the course of history in Fodlan. Your example puts my prior beliefs to shame. I appreciate the kind words. I have always sought to embody the ideal of nobility. That, at least, is a goal I continue to stand by. But now I know that bloodline alone is not sufficient to gauge a person's worth. I've learned much of this from you. You are humble and open-minded, despite your power and skill. That is why I, at least, find you so charismatic. Perhaps that is the wrong way to say it. What I mean is that you set an admirable example. I can only hope someday to be your equal. Of course, you had better keep an eye on me, because I can achieve anything I set out to do. For I am none other than the handsome and talented Lawrence Hellman Gloucester.
Okay.
Professor. Thanks for your help out there. Battles tend to go smoother with you around. I think you did most of the heavy lifting. It may be unwise to think this way on the battlefield, but I feel I can trust your commands without question. Don't we all? But, judging by the results of our recent battles, you're clearly good at this. I've also noticed that you've been putting me in more precarious situations lately. Almost like you know I won't question your orders. Huh! I'm glad you trust me to get the job done, but still, I knew you were doing it on purpose. You're in a very important position now that you're leading the charge against the Empire. Funny to think you used to just teach at the Officers' Academy. Your old students still call you Professor. That's no title for the commander of an army. Relax, I was just having fun. You sure are an interesting one. My people lost the war, and I was left to wander Fodlan alone, but I guess meeting you was my prize. You look confused. Did you not know any of this? I was living in my homeland of Dagda up until the Imperial Army destroyed it 10 years ago. But being a mercenary, I have no real allegiance. That's why I'm working here now. Don't worry though, I don't plan to turn on you.
Singing with others. I can't.
Okay.
Oh, good. Thanks.
How about a curtsy? Make a difference? Pure grit! I'm not dying here. I will destroy you! Make a difference? I'm not dying here. Yummy! This is near.
It's too rare that we get a chance to kick back and stuff our faces. Come on, Shmear, time to gorge.
I apologize for my partner, Professor. That looks
The flavor is
Professor. I was trying to catch you off guard, but you managed to block it. Not too shabby, Professor. Oh, come on. Look at the blade I threw. It's just a wooden training sword. At worst, you could have gotten a bruise or perhaps a splinter. Let's agree it was funny and move on. Aw, poor thing. Aren't you used to getting hurt? You've been in your fair share of battles. Besides, I knew you'd dodge in time. I told you before that I was going to observe you. Since then, I've been watching you. I know what you're capable of. I took steps to make myself invisible, so I could observe you without being detected. I hardly let you out of my sight. After extensive research, I've concluded that you really are first-rate. Your sword skills are impeccable, you're a gifted educator, you clearly love working with the students. Someone with all of your exceptional qualities should not exist, but here you are. At first, I thought Gerald was the reason for Lady Rhea's interest in you. But no, Lady Rhea knew exactly what she was doing when she singled you out. Unfortunately, I can't hope to emulate you, let alone wield the sword of the Creator. So my plan of imitating you for Lady Rhea's attention has come to nothing. I didn't say that. When we rescue Lady Rhea, I'll provide her a full report of your activities. Hopefully, then I'll be in her good graces. Oh, and don't think you can avoid being watched. I won't let you out of my sight.
This is my...
Hey! These past 5 years have been so chaotic, even the bounty hunters backed off. I don't have family ties worth fighting for, so these muscles are up for grabs. Use me as you see fit, pal. You're a smart one. If you're worried my skills have dulled from disuse, think again. Got a favor to ask.
Need something? This one? This one? See you again soon.
You're back finally. I thought you might have died. But I didn't have anywhere else to go, so I stayed here. I'll think about forgiving you. I've been kinda lonely. I could use your help.
Why, hello there. Come back soon now.
Thanks for giving me a hand.
Professor!
Oh no. What do you require? Now let me see. Marvelous. This one should be proud of their growth. Fare thee well.
If you don't mind, I have a favor to ask. Huh? My savior, thank you. Nope. 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 No.
A question. Whatever.
Professor. I'm glad I get to work with you.
Of course, Marianne. You can always count on your old pal Hilda.
Thank you. I'll do my best. That was amazing, Hilda.
Something about you makes me want to put in effort. It's kind of weird. This is no good.
Ah, it...
I can't believe...
Professor.
Thanks. Professor.
Everyone, listen up. I have a proposal. We are now building our forces in order to rise up against the Imperial Army. But it wouldn't be smart for us to fight under the banner of the Alliance. That would only incite the lords who support the Empire. We've also combined forces with the Knights of Seros. Therefore, I suggest that we operate under a new symbol. That's why I've prepared this. You may recognize it as the Crest of Flames, which resides in Teach, the phantom crest that has reappeared after more than 1,000 years. We're attempting our own miracle, so it seems like a suitable symbol for us. So, until we welcome the dawn of a new age in Fodlan, let's fight to the very end as one under the symbol of the Crest of Flames.
Impressive, Claude. Forget restoring the monastery. You've somehow roped everyone into fighting back against the Empire.
If you recall, I never technically asked anyone to join us. If anything, we have Teach's achievements to thank. Now that you mention it, I guess I should express my gratitude. Hey, friend. So this is where you've been. Without you, the Knights never would have joined our cause. I can never pay you back for that. Just leave it to me, Teach. When this fight is over, I plan to see all of my dreams come to fruition, and yours as well. Well, for example, to bust open Fodlan's throat. There's a massive fortress there, which is responsible for protecting the eastern border of the Alliance. I like to think of it as a lid on a bottle. The people of Fodlan only know a small part of the world. Their prejudices are born because they don't know what lies beyond their borders. And the opposite is true too. Those outside of Fodlan don't know about this place. Ignorance breeds discrimination. Whether you look inside the bottle or outside of it, if you really look, all you'll find are people who you can get along with if you only try. That's why I want to bust open that lid, which is keeping us locked inside, or destroy the bottle entirely. I'll find the right time to bring it up. Even if I talked about it now, it doesn't seem realistic, does it? First, we need to defeat the Empire and restore peace to... Huh?
Professor! Claude! We're under attack!
I guess we'll have to cut our conversation short. What's going on, Leonie?
It's a small group, but some Imperial troops are headed this way. It looks like they were stationed nearby.
I've got to hand it to Edelgard. Nothing gets past that woman. As long as we don't let our guard down, there's no way they can defeat us. This will be our first battle alongside the Knights of Seros. Let's kick off our new partnership with a magnificent victory. Good fuel for a scheme.
This should be
Yes, I'll try to put I didn't even... This'll be useful.
Seems simple.
I'm a quick... I have much expert... How best to... Aha!
Perhaps
I suppose it...
Looks like I'm getting...
Practice.
There is room. Intuition's all...
Though plans to resist the Empire are still being devised by the Alliance Army, the Imperial Army has already anticipated their next move. An Imperial vanguard just outside Garreg Mach led by General Randolph, begins to advance with the aim of toppling the monastery once again.
Oh, wow, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Knights of Seros are a powerful enemy, but we have more soldiers. We'll take them down all at once.
So, the enemy intends to use their overwhelming numbers to defeat us. Let's fight fire with actual fire.
Report. The enemy has entered the periphery of Garreg Mach.
If they reach the interior, the enemy will take the monastery. Drive them back immediately.
Let's make this quick. I've got no time for mercy. Shall we?
What's my strategy? I must lead them well.
Guide me well.
I'll do my best.
At the ready.
Onward.
Leave it to me.
Sorry.
My orders?
Shall we?
Steady now.
Oh, lovely.
strange battle flag is... But isn't our enemy the Church of Seros?
They didn't have enough soldiers with just the church, so they upped their numbers by joining with those filthy rogues. It doesn't matter what flag they fly. They're nothing more than a mob. We'll destroy them all! So close.
Lament your weakness.
That's another one.
I will destroy you! I'm not dying here.
Destiny unfurls.
It won't be in vain.
Allied soldiers are making preparations for the plan. Protect them.
It's done. Thank you.
For the future of Fodlan.
If I must! Child's play.
You're amazing.
I fought and won.
How about a curtsy? I'll keep pushing myself.
We're all desperate, aren't we?
Watch and learn.
Never let your guard down. All is going to plan.
You knew it would end as such. My age is catching up to me. Apologies. Lament your weakness. There is...
I am so impressed.
Hold a grudge if you must.
You got yourself killed.
So kind. Never let your guard down. Not quite what I'd hoped.
Still alive. made it! I believe I can do more.
I am only just beginning.
That truly helped.
We're all desperate, aren't we?
You defeat me? Left.
Don't get used to this.
That is all. My age is catching up to me.
Make a difference?
We're prepared for the fire attack. Now we just need to draw the enemy's attention. You can't defeat us with that many soldiers? The Imperial Army is doomed without a capable general.
Quiet! Don't think you'll get away with mocking me. Attack! Make sure they never speak again!
Now!
A fire attack! The damage is too great. We can't fight anymore. All units retreat! I'll take on our pursuers! Carry away the injured soldiers!
If we let them escape, they'll come back to attack later. We have to take them out.
Can't afford to lose.
You're in my way! No time to slow down. I will keep making progress. Yes.
A striking display. I cannot lose!
Defeat me? Left.
Now there's a way forward.
I'm continuing to improve.
How about a curtsy?
A total loss. We can't just return home like this.
Teach, look out! They're after your head!
For my house, for justice, I will not be defeated! Mother, please, I'm so...
Those Imperial troops are really something. Looks like we'll face a lot of resistance in the future.
Thank you so much.
Phew, nice work. We won without much incident, thanks to all of you.
Now the enemy knows we're on the move. What do you plan to do?
I intend to ask the Alliance Lords to share some troops with us to bolster our forces.
I will speak plainly. No matter whom we beseech for reinforcements, our envoys will inevitably pass through Gloucester territory. My father is being cautious not to give the Empire a pretext to intervene. Therefore, he is unlikely to allow even envoys to pass through.
I guess I haven't told you yet, Teach. The kingdom isn't in a position to be sending anyone reinforcements. After losing King Lambert during the tragedy of Dusker, a regent had been handling its politics. But then, there was a bloody coup. The regent and Prince Dimitri both. Apparently the whole family was killed. All bladed territory, including the kingdom capital, is being ruled by those who are cooperating with the Empire. The kingdom is no more. It's now called the Fargus Dukedom. The vast majority of the former kingdom lords bent a knee to the overwhelming power of the Empire and the Dukedom, and now fall under their jurisdiction. Some who formerly held power are continuing to resist, but it would be difficult for them to regain it.
Oh hey, I can think of one person who we can ask for reinforcements. Someone whose territory is really close and who's on good terms with Claude.
Ah, the hero of Daphne, I presume.
I've seen her before, and she does seem to be reliable.
You're talking about Judith, right? I bet she would lend us a hand.
That's right, you've met her once before, Teach. She's a fearsome one-woman army. She did a lot for me, even before I was recognized as the heir to House Regan. I don't like the idea of owing her more than I already do, but given the current situation, sacrifices must be made. I'll reach out to her. As for the rest of you, prepare for our next battle. Hey, Teach. How are you feeling? Does anything feel strange at all? Good. I still vividly remember you suddenly collapsing and passing out after you went through those changes. But maybe that's not a concern now that you've spent 5 long years napping. Your command bringing my schemes to life. That's just how we fight best. Not yet, but there's no need to worry. That woman adores me. Once we've bolstered our forces, it'll finally be time to start taking decisive action. But I wonder, do you really think Rhea is still alive? I think so too. It's hard to imagine the death of someone as important as her staying a secret. I wonder where she is and what she's doing. All I know is that I still have a lot of questions I need to ask her. About the true history of Creststones and Heroes' Relics, and the truth behind the legend of Seros and Nemesis. She has secrets. Too many of them for my comfort. Considering the state of the world, it's suspicious. You must be curious about what was done to you and what her plans were for you, right? And you never did learn about your mother, did you? None of our doubts will ever be cleared unless we hear these answers from Rhea herself. In that sense, I absolutely hope Rhea is still alive. But as far as Fodlan goes, I do wonder what a world without Rhea would look like. The majority of people in Fodlan believe in the Seros faith that Rhea preaches. That's why they accept the noble system as if it were the only option, and refuse to associate with those who believe in anything else. That closed-minded philosophy is the reason why Fodlan's throat is locked tight. But if you remove the Archbishop who strictly advocates that doctrine, that worldview is no longer an absolute. There's room for free thought. The leadership of the Church would undoubtedly fall to you, and you would hold the power to change the shape of the faith, of the world. Then, for the first time, people would truly be free to think for themselves, to decide what's right and what's wrong. Honestly, I believe Edelgard is probably hoping to achieve something very similar. But her methods require too much bloodshed. That's not something the world can get behind. Anyway, the best thing we can do is find Rhea and hear what she has to say. Oops. I guess I've been going on for a while now. Sorry about that. You should get some rest.